And we are live. Hi, guys. See you in a second. Good evening and welcome to Audio Dungeon. I'm your host, Tony Hanson, joined by the rest of the crew here, Lou Cordani, Dan Isgro, and James Cordani. Welcome to the show right now, guys. We're going to do a nerd review today. We may play Escape the Dungeon, and we are definitely going to play Roll and Rumble because, oh man, we are near the end of the season, and it's getting exciting. I'll tell you what it is right now. We have a triple threat match today, and it's going to be Ayatollah, Hedge Delta, and Crusher all competing for top contender status. And then J-Rolls actually this match will be first, right? It'll be J-Rolls versus Tiger King for the match of the century.
Oh.
To see who wins, a guy who's always high or a king of tigers. And then it'll be the winner of the top contenders match versus Slapshot. And this is a title match, which means that Slapshot could lose it all here. And then the final episode will be obviously a few different matches, but it'll be Trent Barrington facing whoever is the champion. And Trent Barrington will fight to remain in the Federation. He will retire or he will be champ.
It'll be a title versus career match.
Yes.
So whoever winds up as champ tonight will face Trent Barrington at RumbleMania.
Right. And if it's Slapshot who maintains, Slapshot is going to be offered Hall of Fame status, which he has gotten very close to before. And the last time he did it, he was just rolling ones almost every single time, and he faced Quack Scientist, I guess. And Quack Scientist was rolling sixes the entire time, and he literally almost won the match, got very close, and then the energy just flipped. And she was like celebrating, like, yeah, let's go. And you could see it was crumbling, and almost like he kind of gave into, oh no, this wave, I have to go with this new wave of losing. Like he just kind of gave up, and then it was just like a landslide.
He succumbed to the bad luck.
Right. He just got swept up in it, and it was done. And like it was just unimaginable.
Man,
it was a crazy match. So that's how close. You couldn't have come any closer to the Hall of Fame status than that. And so he wants, obviously, to get that.
It's coming back for it.
Yes.
We'll see what he can do tonight.
Yes, I'm excited. Guys, welcome to the stream. You're joining us right now. We're about to do a nerd review. We're going to be talking about a couple different things. Today's topic is going to be a peanut. It's neither a pea nor a nut. Discuss.
Wow. great.
Thanks. Are you getting verklempt?
I am. I'll give you a topic. That's where I get all of our nerd news topics from. The 1990s Saturday Night Live. skits.
Coffee talk.
Coffee
Linda Richmond.
Linda
Linda Richmond's my writer, my ghostwriter.
I was wondering where she's been all these years. It's great.
I'm ghostwriting for Tony Hansen. So, guys, today we're going to talk about Nerd Review, the games that three of us here have grown up with, namely Nintendo games. I don't know if you guys were. I know that you were a Nintendo kid. I'm going to take a guess and say that you were a Nintendo kid, but you also owned a Sega Genesis.
I did later on, get a Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
And
So good at it. I know exactly who owned what.
You can tell the Genesis kids.
then I
Yes.
didn't have another Nintendo until, I never did again. He's got a Nintendo Switch, which mostly his little brothers play now. But yeah,
Right.
I never had another Nintendo system after just the Nintendo,
Right.
the NES.
The NES. Does it feel good to have it back in the house? Is a little part of you happy?
Yeah, a little bit because it's fun to see,
It continues.
how Mario has evolved, and it's so much more kid friendly than me and James ripping each other's heads off in Mortal Kombat and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
Who would have thought?
who would have thought? Do you have a Genesis, a Sega, or a Genesis?
Why?
God.
Why
what a
would he have
day.
that?
What a dated question.
How embarrassing!
How embarrassing. Tony Henson went home in shame after that moment. He asked a child in 2024 if he owns a Genesis.
I do have a PS2.
That's what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say. Wow. Yes. So do you own a PlayStation?
I own a PS2 and a PS5.
That's cool. And then what's your favorite system, though?
My favorite system, I mean,
Even PC. What's your favorite
if we
favorite
count
platform?
a PC, it's obviously the PC.
Yeah?
It's not even like a fair competition, though, because the consoles, they're like built in, but the PC, it's just like you have so many different options depending on what you want to do with it, and you could build it to like your own liking, whereas the PS5, it's just like it's there and you can add something to it, but like you can't
you
just
think-
change the whole outlook of it.
It sounds like you're thinking of the fact of like owning a computer is better than a system, which, yeah, because you could do a lot
Yeah.
more things. But like system-wise, like playing on Steam, and you could play with a controller, so you could
Yeah, that's
you could
what
do
I
that as well. What do you like better? If you have to get rid of all others, you will still own a computer. But do you play Steam? Do you play PlayStation? Do you play Xbox? Do you play Switch? What's the one that stays?
I think I would still go with PC.
PC?
Yeah.
Steam. That's interesting. What do you play? What are you playing right now?
I've been playing a lot of the Arkham series, the Batman Arkham.
It's so funny.
games.
A lot of people are going back in that, and they're just talking about it, how like it just doesn't want to die. Like people are still playing it. They're still going on, and they even updated one thing in Arkham.
Yeah, it was really weird. I went on to play it like, I don't know, like maybe a couple of weeks ago or whatever. I think it was Arkham Knight, but I'm not too sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to play it and it was like update and I was like, "What?
Yeah.
This game's like almost 10 years old. Why are they updating it?"
I think they added. I'm trying to remember. I think they added the Batman, like the new one. Did they add? You could play as him as well. was-
Maybe they did. I didn't like unlock anything for it.
There's something they added, but that game has legs. Like it just keeps going.
Yeah.
So
And now the new Suicide Squad game's out. Supposedly that's a part of the same universe.
Is that? I was going to say, is that affiliated with it? Because that might be something that's related.
It's
to
by
it, then,
the
if they're-
same studio that made 3 of the games, and they never confirmed nor denied it to be, at least as far as I know, they never confirmed nor denied it to be part of that.
right well,
Timeline.
why confirm when they can wait till they want to do it? And if they
Yeah.
do, they just say it's part of it.
Gotham Knights, I know they said wasn't part of the trilogy and
Oh,
or the
okay.
group of games, but I'm not too sure about Suicide Squad.
So how old are you right now?
13.
13. And what if you were right now to take your whole life and say like what were the biggest games of your life? What are those? Give me like top 3.
My favorite or like the most popular?
Like the games that you think in 20 years you'll be looking back like, oh man, I used to be playing this game and that game. What are those? What are those like? The game that like owned your life for like a weekend.
Fortnite did.
Mm-hmm.
Minecraft did for a while.
Yep. So far, both of those for me too.
Yeah. And maybe one of the Arkham games.
Okay.
I'd say Arkham City out of all of them, but yeah.
So let's ask that to everybody at the table. What is the game that like you played it for way too long? Like for me, I had it at a day, and there was a few games where me, my father, and my brother were like up in the morning, and I remember I ran downstairs. I was so excited to play this game on computer, I think, and it's like 8 a.m. in the morning, and like I run down there, lights already on, and my brother's up and my dad's up. They're both playing already, and I couldn't play, and I was like,
What
I was
game
like,
is this?
Oh my god! It was a game called Stronghold, and there's actually there's a couple that came out eventually, but it's the original one, and we were just like hooked. And there's another game called Ultimate Domain that we played a lot. Then Warcraft, the original Warcraft, and we were just like hooked. And but I remember like I was down there the entire morning. My mom called me up for pasta around like 5. I went back down, and like the next day I was there too. And, like it just like owned me. Like a couple of those games. But like, what about you guys? What are those games for you?
I mean, if I have to look back and looking back of all the games I've played, the ones that I think were like the best ones that I ever played, and the ones that like took up the most of my time because I played them so much, I would probably say number one would probably have to be A Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Like these are
That's a-
games that like, you know, when I'm at the end of my life and I'm going to say those are the best games I ever played.
Grandpa, so recite to us your favorite games.
Yes. I would definitely say A Link to the Past. Metal Gear Solid.
Okay. I was there for that one because you played that in the apartment, right?
That was like one of the later ones.
Okay.
I think I was maybe like 3, I want to say. I was playing at the apartment.
I've played a couple of the Metal Gear Solid games. I don't have like too much experience with them, but they were a lot of fun.
I've never played them. I know
Oh,
I know
wow.
they're amazing, but I
you
just
would,
never.
you would like
And now,
Probably.
like everybody else, Solid Snake is in Fortnite. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that was the first like real espionage game that I played. And it's like the definition of the genre now, you know?
Right.
Like I just got so much enjoyment out of like, all right, like don't go around shooting people. Just try to avoid people. Try to avoid cameras. Hide
Right.
in a box. It was awesome.
Hide in a box, right?
And like it's like some of the mechanics that they use were just like stuff I had never seen before, could never imagine. Like, do you guys know the Psycho Mantis fight? One of the bosses.
The one where he tells the controller
Yes.
he knows what games you played.
You're fighting a bad guy who's psychic. So basically, like as soon as you make a move, he's gonna he reacts to it like in real time. So you can't shoot him, you can't hit him. You have a very hard time dodging his attacks, but you have a guy in your ear, like in your comm, one of your allies, and eventually he tells you. He says he can read your mind. He knows what you're gonna do next. Unplug your controller and plug it into the player 2 port. And when you're plugged into player 2, you could still control the game, but now he can't read your mind. And that's the only way to beat this guy.
Wow.
It's
clever.
That's
insane.
incredible.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's fine. Doesn't he tell you what games? I see you were playing this game and
Yeah.
that game, right?
Because he reads all the save slots on your memory card. He's like, I see you enjoyed playing Twisted Metal yesterday. It's like, oh my God, this is so
Oh, that's
freaky.
bizarre. What console was that game for?
PS1.
Oh, okay.
wait,
Yeah.
what if the only game you had on that memory card was Metal Gear Solid? What did you say?
I see you were playing this game.
I see
You're in-
like playing video games at all. Thank you for playing this game, though.
You have wasted your entire life trying to beat me.
Life well spent. So anything else? I'm surprised you didn't list any Nintendo games.
Well, there's A Link to the Past.
Okay.
I talk about 8-bit NES.
Yeah. Classic.
I don't know. I mean, if anything, I would probably have to say NES, probably Super Mario Brothers 2.
Interesting. I was just gonna say, I feel like no one wants to say Super Mario Brothers, but there was a time, I mean, in our generation, like when you played that game, like that game owned you. Like I remember all we were playing was that game, and then we had other games we got for Christmas with the whole bundle, right? And I think we had like 5-6 games. And I was just like looking at the other games, curious, but like just playing Mario for the first like 2 weeks or whatever it was. It felt like forever, but who knows how long it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean-
but people won't really mention that Mario Brothers because it's almost like it's
like a-
so
it's
so
like a
popular
given.
that
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like at the Nintendo age, like Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out were the games I spent the most
Yes.
time, and I never beat any of them. But but I spent hours playing each of those games, and revisited them after time away and stuff like that. But those 3 games always stand out to me, like my Nintendo experience as a kid, as far as things that weren't like sports games and stuff like that. Because I loved like
Right.
Tecmo Bowl. I
Yeah.
spent
Double
I
dribble.
can't even,
Double dribble.
double dribble. My dad used to kick my butt at it when it was like one of the first games we got, and he was just so elated. He had nothing to do with video games at all. But man, if he could whip my ass in sports, even if it was digital sports, he was all
all
about
for it. If I were to pick any NES games that I played, it would be Punch Out and Tecmo Bowl.
Punch Out, yeah, both amazing games. My brother and my cousin we used to go away to the seaside, and we would play RBI baseball, and we'd have tournaments.
Yeah.
And I would get my ass handed to me, but like it was just that game. Me and Dan play that now. Me and Dan actually, I guess good video game stories. Me and Dan have a running competition in RBI baseball, and it's still going to this day, and it's been going since like 2008.
No, I would say 2000.
In the apartment.
Before that,
I remember
We
you
were
guys
your
playing
Oh,
that
before
at
that.
your parents' house.
Yeah.
I remember you guys playing that game.
Oh, you're right.
I might,
2004 then.
Maybe.
Might be 20 years.
yeah, I would say this might be going on for 20
Gotta
years.
have a 20th year anniversary battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the record is, I have it written down somewhere. I think the record is
Well, but the whole premise of the
No.
series is that we play best 2 out of 3 series, and the first to get to 100 best 2 out of 3 series victories is the winner. And for a long time, I chose. I was playing with Boston because like the video game has all teams from 1986 and 1987. So I remember the World Series was Mets versus Red Sox. So I chose the Sox, and I choose Roger Clemens. And Tony was using the Mets for a very, very, very long time. And the Mets lineup is very, very weak. So I was able to rack up a bunch of wins with the Red Sox. And then finally Tony caught on, and he chose the Tigers. He chose Detroit. Detroit has a stacked lineup. Their pitchers are unbelievable. And you caught up after a while.
yeah,
took the lead.
because I had to give up. I feel like I couldn't give up on the Mets.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I have to give up the Mets. And then I paid Detroit. And then literally, I was behind a lot. I must have been behind by almost 10 games.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And then
What?
I started just like coming back. Like I knew I could see I was making progress. I'm like, it's just a matter of time. And now I'm in the lead, I think, by 3.
It's like 97 to 94 or something like that, 96, 93.
It's not 96. We haven't touched that yet. I think it's 90. I think it's 95, 92. And we played. Oh, no, we finished it. I think it's 95, 92. I think that's what it is. But it's very close. So we said that the winner is going to give the other person a little trophy. If you could find one with the guy like this, that'd be great. But, so that's that game is just, I just love that game. I know a lot of people don't understand it. They watch us play and
No,
they're like,
it's like a foreign language to people who
they're like,
aren't on the in.
like, why do you like this game so much? You can't understand it until you play it.
Yeah.
For me, it was Final Fantasy, and Jason Spector just said that before. I think it's the same one too. I love the Final Fantasy 1, and that took a lot of my time. My father used to sit in the bed behind me and tell me like, go over here, and just go try that forest over there, and then go gas them up. I mean, go back and rest. And we would fight because I'm like, I don't want to go back. I want to go over here. And he's like, I'm just telling you, it'd be smart if you do this. So we'd have like full on fights, and then I would go to school, and then I get home. And he's like, I leveled everybody up for you. Like he played a little bit, but he didn't really want to play. He wanted to sit back and just watch me play. He wanted to tinker from the background. So we had a good time. The Final Fantasy series, I love that 1, 2, and even 3. Like those are huge for me. The Mario Brothers 2, I felt like was the first time that I realized, sequels suck.
I had no concept of that at all. All I know is it was Super Mario Brothers 2.
That was
And I'm gonna
wasn't
play.
your first Super Mario Bros. Experience, was it?
No. I could tell you a whole. I feel like I've told the story of my Super Mario Brothers experience like a dozen times on this show.
Have you? What is it?
I think so.
What's the quick version?
The quick version is that like my introduction to video games was like not counting computers because I had a Commodore 64, but my introduction was at the Atari 2600. And like my parents, just like all other parents, instead of like there was no research to be done, there was no what games are good, what games aren't good. So my parents would get us Atari games for Christmas and go to the bargain bin and get like $5-6 games and put a bunch of them under the tree. And inevitably you play those games and they were awful. And now this is what was happening like all across the country in America. So people decided in like whatever it was, like 1983, 1984, like, oh, video games suck. Okay.
Right.
So, and then came Nintendo with not the Nintendo video game system, but the Nintendo Entertainment System. And like my neighbor had Super Mario Brothers, and they said, "Oh, come on over and play video games and play Nintendo, play Super Mario Brothers." And I was like,
Did your mom buy the wrong one?
"Huh? No." But then, but this is after I played Atari, and I was like, "No, you want to play video games? Like, video games suck. I have the Atari. I know what this is all about. This is terrible." And they said, No, come play Super Mario Brothers. So I said, "Okay, fine." And I sat down and I played Super Mario Brothers, and it blew me away. It was unbelievable. I couldn't
Right.
believe that, like, this is the same type of thing that the Atari 2600 was.
Right.
So I was like, immediately go home and you like, ask for the NES for Christmas. I asked for Super Mario Brothers, and that's where it all began.
I remember the thought of the gap between when I was old enough to remember this, where Atari was out and Nintendo wasn't out. And I remember thinking, I don't know if I said it to somebody or thinking about it, but like I was playing Atari at my aunt's house, and I was like, wish there were new games like this, like something like, I don't know, something more. I played them all, and I was just like, I just wish there was something else, that. It's like a commercial. I just wish there was something else. Hello,
Yeah.
try this.
Burst through the door.
Yes.
Instead, Pong bursts through the door.
Well, it'll be Mario. It's me, Mario. It'll be a commercial for Nintendo, right? And I remember that gap. And when I got Nintendo, I remember I was just like, it was a thing that I wanted most, and my parents, I guess, knew, but I didn't know. So, like, imagine, like, you wanted something so badly, but you didn't even realize it existed. And then my parents just gave it to me, and I was like, oh, my God. So I had to like, realize how much I wanted it and that it existed at the same time. And then I played it forever.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think if anything else, any other games that I played, like Metroid was huge for me. You guys didn't really play Metroid, right?
I was
Never
into
played Metroid.
The original Metroid was so strange. And I remember I tried it a couple of times. I kept thinking, this is weird. And I go something else. And then one time I was like, I'm just going to play it and try it. And then I finally played it, and I just thought it was amazing. I was like, oh, my God, this is actually incredible. But it's so strange. Even the music, like...
Yeah, totally different, yeah.
It's really, really out there. Like,
But wait, so at what point, I'm going to get back to Mario Brothers 2. Like, at what point when you were playing Mario 2, did you sit back and say, like, wait a second, this game sucks?
oh, man, it was... I can't remember exactly. I would say somewhere in, like, probably the second or third board. I remember because I anticipated it, right? I had them in magazines, and I couldn't wait for it, and they show you, like, all the levels. I literally looking at all the levels, and then it comes, I start playing it, and I'm just like... It was an immediate letdown from the beginning. Like, the screen comes up, and it's the curtains, and I'm looking at that, and I'm picking it, and I go, it's interesting. I remember thinking interesting, and I choose whoever, and then I start playing it, and then I want to say quickly, probably like board 2, board 3, I'm just like, I'm going to play this, but it's not as good as, like, the first one. It's just not.
Wow.
It's just different.
It was very, very, I mean, obviously it was...
And three was like a recovery. Like, 3 was a return, and 3 was really good.
3 blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
Through
For me, the excitement was just about at the level of 1 with 3.
I know 3 was popular. I remember some of my friends had. I never had any of the sequels at all. But I don't recall ever playing Super Mario Brothers 2 or hearing about it. I don't feel like no one talks about it. It must be that bad of a game.
I think they repurposed another game for it, and they just said it's Mario Brothers. And I used to know the answer about what game it was.
something Super Dream, something. Because I mean,
was it Bobby's World or something like that, or something silly?
Bobby's World.
That was later.
Let me look it up. But yeah, I mean, the whole story is that it's like Mario's
Right, it's a
dreaming
dream.
about a.
That never works. I feel like any
What
plot
does
line,
Mario dream about? Meatballs?
you would think so.
Yeah,
but
like
it doesn't.
whatever it is. You're
Leaky
dreaming
faucets?
about.
Leaky faucets he can't fix. That's really a bill, perhaps. He got to pay his bills.
What if Punch Out is actually Mario's dream, and his true dream is to become a
Is
boxing
to officiate
referee?
Gonzo boxers?
Maybe Mario in every instance of every game is just Mario having dreams.
Love that
Yeah.
idea.
Nintendo is just
They
a
should
a plumber's
incorporate
dream.
that into their movie universe that they're making.
What
Oh
if?
man, the Mario verse.
Yeah,
we go.
Link. Link is quite obviously just Mario's dream.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact that I've said.
The NCU, Nintendo Cinematic.
Yeah, well, that's more realistic than the ones we've been coming up with, right?
Yes.
I said this before on the show, but I've come up with, for people who don't remember, perhaps. I think I've come up with the first time in video game history that a game has grinding. Anybody not know what grinding is in a video game?
I know, right? Yeah.
I think I
So-
know. I think
I've said it
we've
before.
talked about this. Yeah.
So what do you think? What is the first game that had grinding?
Every game was always a grind for me. I don't know.
Zelda.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree
The
with
first time that you play a game where it's not to be on the route, but to specifically power yourself up, was when you go along and you're just fighting all the things trying to get gems and you're going around. You're grinding. I think I could be wrong, but I think that might be the first
Yeah.
time ever.
that. And it used to piss me off, just like modern games do, which is why I don't play those kinds of games very often.
Oh yeah,
Because anything where it's like you gotta kill a bunch of time going out of your way for 3 hours.
it's a
like,
failure in the game. In a way, in a way it is. In a way it is because like, you know, you never want to play the game not for the way not for the enjoyment of the game. And I guess it just there's a point where you kind of jump the shark, and then you go, I want to I need to just like try to get ahead because I want to be here. That's what it is. You want to be at this level. Where MMOs is really what that really got popular, right? You're at level 1 and you just want to push to get to level 7 really quickly. So you don't want to
Yes.
wait. Now you're not. And for me now, I know if I ever do that in a game, I kind of just stop playing right after because I know I'm done. And if you're playing for that, you're not playing for enjoyment. You're playing to get somewhere, and you're hoping that at that level you'll be happy. Only then can I be happy at level 7.
Yep.
So
You're right, and I find that to be it takes all the fun out of it.
you're done because you've. It's not even that it takes all the fun out of it. You're done. You're done with the fun.
Yeah.
And now you want something new. You know, you're waiting for a new way to play the game or
Yeah.
something to be added on to keep your attention. So now you're looking at goalposts in the future.
Well, and I think those games when we were kids, their save points were not frequent and stuff like that. So it was hard to walk away and then like you start over again. Like that sucks, you know.
Yeah.
So now most games are built where like you could save your progress and thankfully be able to. I mean, the games are so much more robust and the content is so much more extensive. You get way more hours of play out of just exploring these games, these open world games especially and stuff. But when we were kids, there was none of that. It was just
No.
like beat this almost impossible guy to get to the next thing. And
Right.
if you lost to him 3 times, guess what? Start the game over.
I remember there's an article somewhere or video. I say article, I mean video, where they were talking about the fact that really affected our development growing up because like we would face a problem and then like start over, to start from the beginning, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. It's like Karate Kid where it's like you're just on the floor and you keep restarting, you keep doing it. And I think they said that's why they kind of like, because of the technology upbringing and everything else, they kind of labeled that 7-year gap around where we were born as like people who have like had a very unique experience with technology.
That was interesting.
Yeah, but think about it, like they're experiencing something very different than us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and in fact, even one of the games, Rygar, was a game like an adventure game you would play.
We've talked about this game.
And
that freaking game.
And Rygar, imagine an adventure game. I give you a new adventure game, right? And it's probably, if you played it through the end, I'm going to guess to say maybe it takes like 3 hours, 4 hours to defeat. Like play it straight, right? You play. You want to go upstairs because you want to eat dinner. No save. There's no way to save the adventure game. So you constantly would play, and Billy, my brother, would be like, I don't know what to do. Like, he's like, he's doing this real slow. He's like, I don't want to shut it off, but what am I going to do? And he shut it off. And then one day he gave himself the time to beat it, and he did without me. And then he told me that it was a really good ending.
Wait a second.
That was the first one. And then the other one was Karnov.
Is this why I always get those two games confused, Rygar and Karnov?
Maybe. Yeah, right. So you get to the ending, and Rygar is just it looks like a serene place. It's just like grass and a bridge and a mountain. It says like the music plays, and it goes, "Congratulations, the end," in like basic white, dumb font, you know. And then you're like, I remember he was mad about it, so he had me play it, didn't tell me, and then I did it. And then he got me good with Karnov, saying that it was the best end.
my God.
Tony, best ending of any game ever. And I went, really? What is it? He goes, you'll have to play and find out. And I played it for like 12 hours.
Oh, my God.
And I got to those points where and they were in the room with me playing a baseball game, Major League Baseball, which you were able to save your stats and go through it. It's like real old school. And the guys are just small.
It's a fun
and you
game.
press 1 for fastball, 2 for curve.
Yeah.
And like they're just like in love with the stats, which now I kind of like, oh, that sounds fun. But then I was just like, what are you doing over there? Because it's so boring. But I must have restarted it 5 times from the beginning. I remember the last time I was like, oh. And they're obviously the prod of me. They're like, oh, man, what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know. I think I'm done. I can't play it anymore. And he's like, but you're never going to know what it is. And I'm like, oh. And I would start up again and do it. And then when I got close to the end, they would be like right behind me. They're getting very excited. And then they were both right here when I eat it. I was like, I did it. They're both like this because they want to drink my tears.
Oh, my God.
So it comes up and
What?
says, it wasn't even a serene background. It was a black background, I
Yep.
think, with what congratulations at the end. And I went, what? And he went, ah! You wasted the whole day to play for that.
Oh, my God. Going back to Super Mario 2, though, it was called Doki Doki Panic was the game. That was the game, and then they just repurposed it to turn it into Super Mario Brothers 2.
So strange.
But
was
that
it repurposed from a game about the Hokey Pokey?
Maybe. But
Put your head in. Put your head out. Press B. Press B.
that was the first experience that I
Shoot the
had
controller.
with, like,
Oh, so the first one you played was 2, but you played 1.
no.
I keep getting this wrong.
This is the first experience I had
I'm a
with a
little sketchy
game
on this, too.
where, like, you play it from beginning to end, and then you get, like, a proper ending to a video game. Because everything else I played to that point that I had beaten was, like, Super Mario Brothers 1. What is it? Congratulations, you saved the princess. Now start it over from the beginning.
Oh, yeah. I can't
Rygar.
Super Mario Brothers, yeah, like Rygar. But in Super Mario Brothers 2, you get, like, this nice animated scene
Right.
at the end. You know, Mario wakes up in his bed.
Can you imagine the thinking that, like, it's so funny the things that, like, you take from many years ago and go now, and they were not obvious, and today they're plainly obvious. And that's, like, the thing where, like, they sit around in the adventure game, they're like, how should we finish this game? Rygar, how should we finish it? Throw congratulations at the end of the bottom. Oh,
Who doesn't like that?
Oh, yeah, it works. Who's like a little pat in the back for finishing a game?
What child could possibly not be content with being congratulated?
And then they come back, like, probably like 6 months later, they're like, I think people want something more in the end. They want a little
I
satisfaction.
don't know, maybe.
That would be a good skit too. We talk about doing the skits, like trying to figure out, like, people had to first think about, oh man, we got to put an ending on this game because there was no ending to Pong. There's no ending to Breakout.
No, yeah, like literally,
No
the
ending to
games just
Pac-Man?
did not end.
Yeah,
in,
there
you
was
know-
that adventure game. What's it called? It's the one they do in Ready Player One.
Adventure?
Adventure. Thank you. What's the name of that adventure game?
Adventure.
But I don't know what the ending with that one was. Was there an ending? Did it say
I
anything?
have no idea.
I don't know. If anyone knows, the chat
the,
list,
the Easter egg is in Ready Player One. Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know about that until
some
I
credits.
literally saw Ready Player One.
yeah.
The invisible key. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. You have to find an invisible item. It's crazy. It's invisible sitting somewhere. You don't even know where it is. You have to go over and press it and then bring it somewhere.
Yeah, you got to bring something into a room and it unlocks something. Yeah.
Right. Oh wait. Is there an ending of the game without that, or is like no way to end it?
No, that's just a secret room that you
Okay.
discover, and it has some kind of credits in there for
Right.
the creator of the game.
I remember playing that game and being like, "This is awesome."
There
So I was
was
going around. I was like, "Wow!" I'm like exploring like that.
There was a
I was
secret
content with a
room
square.
where you could watch the credits.
Yes. And that's like the first the first instance of an Easter egg in a video game.
Does this sound awesome?
Yeah.
The '80s were dark times.
That's the one thing that Bagman really needed.
Oh man, Bagman.
No,
We can't even talk about Bagman. No one knows what it is.
no, I know.
I'm the Bagman.
But like when you would play like Pac-Man, if you ever watch any documentaries about the guys who played Pac-Man obsessively to get the high score and everything, the game just the game doesn't even end. It's just like the game is out of memory and like half
Right.
of a board
Yeah.
or like 2/3 of a board.
I think it's
And
like
it just
level
goes and
like
it freezes.
690 something. Just thinking about it off the top of my head, and it's like if you beat that, then the game just resets to level 1.
Supposedly, so just recently this year, there was a kid who got to that ending in Tetris.
Oh, within like the last few months, right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
somebody did it after him. I think so. It probably inspired somebody else to go, "Oh my god, I want to do that." But he played it and it did it, and he freaks out on the camera. He was like, "Ah!" Like he realized.
What level did you reach?
I don't know.
It's like, but if you watch him, like I think he's on camera when he does it. You see
Yeah.
the pieces just go from like here to here. It's not even like any.
Right, it's all
It doesn't
recorded.
even fall. It just appears from one place.
Right.
To
Say there.
Yeah.
Just teleport.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also many years ago, somebody I don't know if they reached the exact ending. They may have, but it was from Minecraft, and they went far out where the game was deteriorating, and as you're just walking through,
Yeah, the Farlands.
yeah, it's just basically like weird, amalgamations of land in the air, and like you're just walking through it, like, it just
Wow.
breaks down.
Yeah, the Farlands.
Like the movie Free Guy, where the
yeah,
trying to look for that secret map. It's like it's out of the game, right?
Oh, maybe I don't remember. I love Free Guy. I can't remember that part.
that
of it.
was an awesome movie.
That was a good movie. Yeah, so it's wild. But yeah, Mario Brothers 2 was for me was a letdown. Mario Brothers 3 was good, and then the rest of them was good. But it's for me it was always awesome. Like lately, I was saying it to like Damien. I think I was like, I want to find the next game. Not that I have the time these days, but I want to find the next game that's going to really like own me for a while. Like I want to just get lost in something, So
I used to go to the what do you call it? The video store, I guess. When like my mom and pop, not Blockbuster, like before Blockbuster.
and rent games, right?
I used to rent a video game for like the
forgot about
weekend
that.
because you could rent them for
Right.
like I don't know, $3 or $5 for, and you get them.
Is it better? Wasn't
Unlike
it,
a movie, you get you get like 48 or 72 hours for a video game. And
Yeah.
so I would just some weekends I would just like tell my friends, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not hanging out. Like I'm just gonna play this video game all weekend long.
Yeah, I remember I rented DuckTales a few times.
Oh
I
man,
never played that game.
it's
great.
fantastic.
It's good.
The
Anybody
the music
rented
is great,
E.T.?
too.
Is it just a theme song to DuckTales?
The Atari ET.
all
No.
It's in there, but
No one rented that one.
E.T. We had a discussion about
E.T..
that once here. Yeah.
That
That's
led
a-
to the crash, just as much as all the crappy Atari 2600 games.
Now my conspiracy mind's like maybe they wanted it to crash, make room for Nintendo.
I don't know, maybe.
Let's bury them in the desert. It's the best idea we can do.
That's crazy.
Why did they just? I guess you can't burn them.
Yeah, I mean, it was the easiest way to just. It was just an inventory dump. It's the easiest way to dispose of
Without
them.
like a risk of someone dying.
It
But
was
then
actually-
again, someone could just fall into the pit while they're just.
it was ingenious because what did they send it to charity? The money they made it, where they sold the games that they dug up.
I have no idea.
I thought I'm
They
pretty sure
sold the games
they
they dug
redug
up.
them up, and now people because the story went on everywhere.
Yeah, they made a whole documentary about it.
It's so silly. It's like I'm gonna throw this pen out, and then I tell you about how I threw the pen out, and 20 years later I come back with the pen. Do you want to buy it? That's exactly what happened.
I never heard of the E.T. video game until I saw that documentary. That was the first time I ever heard that there was a game.
Really?
With the author of Ready Player One, right?
I never saw Ready Player One, but yeah, I don't.
Oh,
I don't-
man.
But is that the documentary you saw with?
Probably. I
it?
don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I
haven't-
watched
made documentaries
it.
'cause they
I
made
forget
about
what
that
it was
terrible
called,
video
though.
game.
Ready Player One.
Oh no, I didn't see the movie.
Oh yeah, you guys should see
very
that.
good.
You guys would love that.
You've told me that the last time it came up.
It's great because you can watch the movie together. That's awesome.
Yeah, nah, I wanna.
You don't want to?
No, I do.
Oh.
I do.
Like I just like nah, I don't want to. Yeah, that's a really good. And they're coming out with a sequel too, I believe. I think it's coming out. Oh yeah, what's his name? Just signed on to it. What's his name?
Miles Teller,
No, the director.
Spielberg.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
Plug
I
the
read the book.
controller in. Player 2.
yeah.
Ready Player, like I read the book Ready Player 2. It was very, very interesting. The themes.
Yes, Charles,
Celestial Engine.
for sure. It owns my life. Actually, that game owns my life right now for sure.
Yeah.
That's why you don't have time to find another one.
That's exactly why. Charles knows.
It's odd though. Like if I know that if I'm going to be introduced, this is really why I don't play video games as much as I used to because my time is much more limited now. But I'm also like very guarded because I don't want to like open myself up.
You've been hurt.
No, I don't want to open myself up to a video game that I know I like. Oh, you could put like 1,000 hours into this game because either like I'm gonna put hundreds of hours into the game and just like completely ignore all the rest of my responsibilities, or B, I'm gonna play it once, I'm going to play it twice, and like I'm never going to play it again. It's just going to be like another thing where I'm like, oh yeah, like I started playing it, and I just can't devote any time to it.
I know what you mean by that. And a lot of people say that, and I've said that. But like, I guess at the end of the day, like, just play because if something right now, especially as you get older, if you find something that's like makes you excited to play, it's new and it captures your attention, like that's valuable. Like,
Yeah.
and that's a
right.
way for you to escape for a while. Like, get out. And if that's a 1 hour a day or a half hour a day, take it. You know?
And the last time we had a conversation like this, I said I was going to download that Maniac Mansion style game. I think it's called Unusual Findings, and I never followed through on it. Sad.
Well, yeah, Maniac Mansion was great.
So you should have called
be a
it
trip.
instead of Maniac Mansion. Should have called it Crazy Abode.
Crazy Castle.
Crazy Castle. That might be a game actually.
That probably is a game.
That's a game.
Yeah,
Well, Crystal Castle's a game.
Crystal Castle's a game.
What would you consider now, though? Games that you're clearly much better video game player than I am because I give up on the grinding part, and I've beaten very few games.
By better,
In
you
my
mean
life
more of a
because of it.
loser.
No, I'm just saying. But would you you're a more competitive person than I am generally anyway. So
Take my brother for that.
it's enjoyable
Dan's brother for
to beat video games. Like, whereas I'm like, whatever, once it gets frustrating, it's like, it's just, I'll move on to something else. But that's why I think I've always found my, sports games, it's like, it's easy. It's if you lose, you just start a new season.
So Nintendo taught me that. That's what we were saying before. So like when you played those games, like a Mega Man or something like that, like did you reach the end, or you just like I'm done, and then you just move on to something else?
Yeah, at a certain point, like some of those, like I had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game.
Oh man,
that fourth or fifth level or whatever, where you're disarming the bombs underwater, and then I would get back to the van. I'm just driving around in the van. I had nowhere to go. I didn't know what I was supposed to do next.
I have accepted that my grandchildren will have to defeat that game for me.
And I had a game of Platoon. The movie Platoon, they made a video game. I could never get off the first board of that thing.
I had that trouble with Metal Gear. That's the Metal Gear I played, which is nothing like the other ones, and it was hard. And I would get into the compound, and I would just die.
Yeah.
And then I had the Spider-Man game for Genesis. That thing was like, I would get to like the last board, and you have to fight all the bosses again.
I guess
It was a brutal game.
Who knows why, but I guess you reach that point and then you decide, like, do I want to play another game or am I going to get this? And I think for me, it was like Final Fantasy. I remember it was like it was an ice cave. And you had to travel a long way in the map to go over through really hard monsters to go into the cave. And you had to go down into the cave, get to the bottom level, which was difficult. And while you were there, you had to do a certain thing, probably get like an orb or something like that. But then there was some valuable items, so you can't like you're there. You have to go around the entire map and get it, and then you have to crawl your way back up, and then go all the way back to the town. And the only way to successfully do it is you crawl back. Bless you. You crawl back with literally like 3 hit points. This guy's dead. One guy is left. You're like poisoned, and you make it back. And I must have did that like 12 times, 14 times, and like it was like the worst thing ever.
What game is this called?
Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy.
Oh, really? Wow.
Actually, there's another one, Halo. Halo brought me back to video games, actually, in high school. And Vinny Pro was playing it, and he goes, here, play this for a second. And I had no interest in video games. I completely stopped from, like, I don't know, 6th grade to, like, first year high school, whatever it was, or second year. And he just handed me the controller, and I was like, this is so crazy, because all I remember is Nintendo, and I couldn't even move. And I loved it. After about a half an hour, he's like, you want to keep playing? I was like, yeah, I'll keep playing. And then I immediately just went to the store and bought an Xbox after I left him, and then I just played Halo for 2 years.
That's amazing, right? Isn't that funny how something brings you back? Wrestling brought me back to video games.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, because I would still play, like, I had my Sega Genesis from, like, 1990 all through, like, middle school and high school, and then I kind of stopped. I would play my one baseball game, triple play, whatever, 95 or whatever the heck it was. I'd still play that intermittently, and then I remember like PlayStation had come out, and my friends were playing Resident Evil, and I thought it was really cool, like the cinematics of it and the story of it. I was like, oh, it's like a real story to this, like not like just words on the screen and a 8-bit guy stumbling around.
Right. Enough technology had passed. We were
Yeah,
like, oh,
so I was like,
cool.
this. I used to hang out, and I would watch them play. I'd be like, it's pretty cool. Like it's like watching a little bit of a horror movie.
Right.
And but that wasn't enough to get me back. But then, wrestling games when I was a kid, they would have like 6 or 8 wrestlers you could choose, have a one-on-one match, maybe a tag team match or something. But they were pretty lame.
Right.
And and then I was out of wrestling for a while too, and then I got back into wrestling in like the year 2000 or something, and I came across these wrestling video games that had these rosters of like 30, 40, 50 wrestlers. You could have a Royal Rumble in them. I was like, that's
Right.
really cool.
That was
I was
it.
like, I
That
got to
was
give
enough.
that a shot. I got to see what that's just like, and then I was like, I was off to the races. And
How long did you just play that, pretty much?
Yeah, it was like a few days of, and I got a really bad like WCW wrestling game, but just from the roster alone, I was able to kill like hours and hours of just seeing what they looked like and the handful of moves that they could do and watching the entrances. It was interesting to me. And then the SmackDown game came out, the first one, and that seemed like it was like the most amazing graphics
So you-
of all
you were
time.
just hooked
It
on
was like,
steadily and-
yeah,
you know.
yeah, it just grew from there.
It's crazy what gets you. It's funny because at the end of the day, all you're doing is pushing buttons and you're staring at something, but like just change the theme the right way, and then that's it. You're hooked.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that the Halo I played. I don't know if, do you remember coming over for D&D and I was stuck on that map on Halo?
No.
Remember, no covenant. You had to open your mouth. Do you remember the guy saying that?
No.
So Jen, your wife, was making fun of me the whole time because she was always laughing because every time you guys would come over, she would be like, "You're still on this board?" And every week, and I wasn't like I was just playing that day of the week. I was playing through the weeks. I never had a point in my life, even the Final Fantasy, where I was stuck that long. And I was stuck for, I'm going to say, a month and a half or 2 months, I think.
Oh my god.
And I was stuck in one spot. And what happened was I got very weak. So I was down to one red bar. And we just go on a covenant ship, and it's a bad scene to get stuck in this way, and it's saved. Whatever it was, unless I wanted to start the game over, I was stuck in this state in this map. And these doors would open, and it's like a big auditorium, right? And the doors open, they go, woo, and they open up, and runs out as those guys that go, rah, 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 and they run out, and they're invisible, and they have swords. So they run over to you, and they slash you once, and you die. So they would come out, and it was one or two, it's one in a group, I think. And then you have to face them, and then another one. It's like a boss battle, and then you got to face another one in a whole situation. And it was like the movie Live, Die, Repeat with Tom Cruise, where I had played it over and over and over. And at the end, I was like godly at this board. But even at that point, I was getting to the point where I'd make it all the way to the end. There's like one visible guy left, and it just to kill one was a miracle. Where what I had to do to win it, the last one, if I could just go back in time and capture this moment, the door opens up, and I'm like, I'm the picture of perfection in this moment of the game. The door opens up and it goes woo, and as it opens up, I throw a sticky grenade that goes bullseye in, avoids the grunts, and bullseye him in the face. And he's sticking. It goes whoa, and he blows up. And then I have to run over there, kill them. I have to hide in there, come on out, and there's another one. I have to find a grenade. I have to stick him perfectly, and I have to do that at least one or two other times. Hide, just throw grenades out to kill random people. Just go through the whole map. And I remember the time that I did it, everything stopped and I lived. And I was like, this is what it's like in the after. I played it, literally, it was a month and a half, and everyone just kept laughing because they were like, is he going to say it again? And then I would play and you hear him, no covenant. You had to open your mouth.
Oh my gosh.
And then I found out when he dies, he would stop saying it. If he died like in the middle of it, he'd go, no covenant yet. And then everyone's like, they said, what happened to that guy? So then I watched him, I saw the guy, he dies, and that's why I stopped saying it. So that's my Halo story.
I played a game called Siphon, a similar story, but I never got past it. I played a game called Siphon Filter. Have you ever played it on PS1? Phenomenal game.
I did remember playing that, yeah.
I never heard of that.
But like in the vein of like a Metal Gear Solid. It came out like roughly around the same time. I played them both around the same time. And like it's espionage, so I get to a point where I have to follow a guy, but like he can't see you, you can't kill him. You have to follow him and observe. So I follow him down to a room, nobody else is there, and he just keeps going back and forth like this, back and forth. So I'm like, okay, I'm hiding, I'm watching him 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. He's doing nothing. I'm trying to interact with the different stuff on the level. He sees me. Okay, again, same thing. Start over, go back down, get to that other part of the level. Back and forth, and he just keeps doing this. And like I would let him see me, level ends. Do it again. I would kill him next time, level end. Like nothing I could do could trigger the next scene. So I was like, okay, erased all my progress on the memory card, started the game over from the beginning.
Oh, man.
Got to that point again.
This is a Nintendo player.
Did not same thing, same glitch. If it was a glitch or if there's something I wasn't doing, then I owned the game. went to Blockbuster, rented a copy. Maybe there's something wrong with my copy of the game.
no.
Rented
Wow,
the
you were really
game.
thorough with
Yes.
this, buddy.
Put it in there. But same thing.
Specific
nothing,
damage
ever.
just to make the guy not see you. Like, strike it in the right way.
Yeah, could not get past this part. So I had to eventually say, like, and I would like Googling it, trying to figure out like what I'm doing wrong. No one ever mentioned like the guy goes back and forth. You have to stop him from doing that. You have to do this. It's just like follow him down, go through the room. He's going to do this, go through the door. No one ever mentioned that this happens in the game. Never got past it.
There were a lot of times like that.
Do you know how to get past it?
No, I told you. Like whenever I read a walkthrough, they just say the guy does what he's supposed to do, and you just keep following him.
He told you.
You don't have to yell at James. You didn't design the game.
Jesus, James.
James, he told you. What are you doing?
Next thing you know, Dan's buying a ticket to Tokyo to find the guys who made the game.
Listen,
Stalking them.
I checked every game in America. They've all been damaged in the same exact way. I need a game that's untouched in Japan.
Like, oh yeah, you have all the Dan copies.
Oh yeah, all those copies were knocked in the shipment, and now they're all that guy. He just doesn't end.
We're all labeled Dan copies.
Just those true copies.
We call them Dan copies.
Becomes completely unhinged over it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I never figured it out.
I tried to, and when we lived in the apartment, I tried to beat Ninja Turtles. I sat down at this rare time that I had like an
That
afternoon.
I remember.
And I was like, I'm going to try to beat this game because I'm just done with people talk about it, and I'm like, I'm tired of saying I can't beat it. I want to beat it. So I got very far in the game, and I got super far, and the first time I did, I died because I had to leave the controller down because while I was sitting in the game, I'm sitting on the floor and I'm playing it. Next to me, I see something in my peripheral vision, and it's doing this. I'll do it with the phone. It's like this. And I'm playing, and it's green, and it's doing this. And I see it after a while. I'm like, oh, what is that? So I look over, and there's a praying mantis right next to me. I don't know if he was excited that I was playing Ninja Turtles or whatever, but he's doing this.
He's rooting for you. That's how they cheer.
He's cheering on.
But he's really close. He's like,
He's praying for you.
Come on, Tony, kick Shredder's ass.
so I freak out, and I'm like, whoa! So I think one of the video games. I just go, ah!
You smashed the praying mantis?
Oh yeah.
I hope it wasn't illegal at the time.
I hope his prayers were good.
Oh, man.
oh God.
Because that's the moment where like I want to get away from him, but the fear of not knowing where he's gonna be is stronger than the fear is there. So you scream, ah! And I got rid of the body and I continued to play. I got all the way to the end and I died.
I remember I
Too far.
How
came home.
embarrassing.
How embarrassing!
Embarrassing. I remember you got to the Technodrome.
Yes.
I remember watching you at the Technodrome, and I remember thinking,
think
like,
I died in that
oh my
one.
God, yeah. I remember like, oh my God, he's gonna do it. He's at the Technodrome. No.
That's the problem. When you get there, you're like, okay,
Yes. Oh
this
my
is it.
God.
Oh my God, there's laser beams, and you freak out.
Nothing captures that feeling better than a Mega Man game. Because like you go through like all the guys, you fight all the guys again. You get through every other
Right.
impossible levels of
Right.
Dr. Wily. Then you fight like Dr. Wily. Then you get to like the souped up Dr. Wily. By
Right.
the time you get to
Right.
like the nth final boss, you're like, oh my God. And like
You're
that
emotionally
whole-
drained.
Yes. But that whole like your emotions are so high, you're past that point of like, okay, I'm fighting Airman. Like I tried this weapon, doesn't work.
Right.
I tried this weapon. Like logic is gone. Like they've taken every last ounce of logic and thinking.
Right.
Spent, gone, done.
It's like running out of a fire, and the only thing you could do is look for the exit sign.
Yes.
Because you have to get to the point where you're panic mode. You know what to put on because you've done it 1,000 times,
right.
and that's what it is. Maybe the real thing they've done to us in the Xennial years is that they've like killed our nerves. We're just like
Maybe.
just fried.
Yeah. I wonder how that affects people's
You
like,
no longer
ability.
have a nervous system.
Supposedly that they said that it made us very adaptable and flexible, able to deal with new technologies very easily because we're used to like being frustrated and we'll overcome it.
We're used to being frustrated.
Yeah,
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
I'm always angry.
No wonder I'm so pissed off all the time.
Oh!
Just becomes the whole.
Right.
But I wonder if that like prevents people from trying new things. Because like reality is not I try something new, I progress, then I fail at something. I got to start all over at the
Well,
beginning.
That's
Like,
exactly what my reality is.
I'll be honest with you. I can't tell you how many times in
Story
my
of my
life I had to learn new software for for the studio, probably like 2 or 3 times. For video programs, I've learned at least 4 or 5 of them. And over the years, every time I've done it, I'm just like, oh, and I walk away and I come back to it. And you have to just push through. Even crypto, crypto was the worst. That was the worst. It took 3 days, and I'm on the computer for 3 days, going to the point where I'm collapsing in front of I'm just tired because I want to make that money. And I remember I couldn't figure it out, and I had to just keep pushing. And I imagined that would be a time. It's like, let's give them the video games in the 80s. So in the 2010s, they'll be ready.
That would be the moment in the movie of Tony's life where that flashback to playing a video game comes back to you.
Right.
The flashback to grinding through a game that your brother told you had an awesome ending.
It'll be the final twist.
But you're going to miss the ending. No, I'm not going to give up.
That's what's going to happen, Tony. They're going to convert crypto, and it's going to be a big congratulations letter that comes to you in the mail. You're going to get a great email with
There better be some money
with
with
a
it.
plain black screen. It
Wow,
says, congratulations. A winner is you.
My biopic is going to
You
suck.
saved the world.
I'm going to have the worst
A
biopic
pity.
of anybody. Oh, yeah, so the end of the Tony Hansen movie is Karnoff really gets him going. And he gets right back to it. Can't believe it. Gives me goosebumps every time I see it.
Tony makes $10 trillion. His big reward is a letter in the mail. Congratulations, you've won capitalism. Black
So
pepper, white type.
Like 10 years from now, I'm sitting at like a TED Talk, and I'm like, yes, and Karnoff is really what brought me to my money. Oh, Karnoff, right?
Tony, tell us about your steadfast will to make. Has anyone ever heard of a game called Karnoff?
Karnoff.
I owe it
A
all to
heavy
them.
man who goes on an adventure with no shirt. He uses ladders and spits fireballs. And he's rewarded very little in the end for his progress.
Do you throw knives too?
Yeah, I think at a time he would throw knives.
Karnoff.
That's it, Karnoff. Who made that game and why?
I don't know.
You have to explain that game. Like someone had to sit there and be like, I don't know, that guy. No
You've
shirt.
gone through 3 to 4
And,
hours of absolute torture playing this game. So congratulations. Here is some white grass.
For real. But like, who thinks of this stuff? I think my favorite how it was made, but how it was made the 80s with the video games, whatever. No, for
High score?
no, it was a show. It's a show on Netflix for
High score? Documentary?
no, not that one.
Okay.
They asked me again.
Sorry.
It was the one where they did. I hope it wasn't High Score. Now I'll be so embarrassed.
The movies that made us? The toys that made us?
The Toys That Made Us.
Okay,
Yes, that's
all
it.
right.
Thank
We're
you.
back.
Awesome.
Thank God. Whew.
That was awesome.
It was so good, and I watched the Ninja Turtles one. I think twice, two
Oh, yeah.
and a half times, kind of. And I just love it because I'm just fascinated that they got from like nothing to the Ninja Turtles, and like they were different and slow and just weird. They all had the purple bandana on, whatever it was, and it's just wild. And you watch the process of coming from nothing. And I have this weird feeling every time I see something like that, especially when I watch like how the movies were made, like Back to the Future and stuff. And do you ever get this weird panic feeling that it's probably just me, where you go like, oh no, what if they don't do it? What if it changes? I always feel like I always feel, I'm like, oh my God, it was gonna be that. Like it's almost like I better watch to the end and see how it went.
See how it
You're going
turns
to
out.
change history where it
Does
never...
it, I don't know why you feel that way because it's irrational, but I get that feeling of like, oh my God, like I'm almost worried about the paths that it could have taken.
Yeah, but like in the moment, you're watching the progress of the
Right.
movie.
Do you
Oh my
have
God,
you ever
the
experienced
Ninja
that feeling?
Turtles went
Not when,
bankrupt.
not
Yes.
when I'm watching those shows. No.
I want to say every time I watch something like that, I'm always a little quick feeling of like, oh my God, what if it doesn't happen?
I don't
By
want to live in a
changing
world
history?
where Marty McFly doesn't exist.
It's what's his name? The other guy. Guy
Biff?
from the 80s. No, the other actor,
Eric Stoltz?
Eric Stoltz. And the Flash, Eric Stoltz is Marty McFly.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a funny like little change. It's
They-
like, they're like,
they-
what are you talking
I gotta
about?
see that movie. Yeah.
It was good. I saw it recently. It was really good. But yeah, the video games that made us, Nintendo kids. I could always spot a Nintendo kid. When you're growing up, I was able to like Nintendo, Genesis, Nintendo, Genesis. You could
Yeah.
just.
How do you know?
It's a feeling. It's a feeling. I think Dan's theory, which I think is correct, is that he feels that people that only had the Sega Genesis were more flash in the pan, kind of like get in, get out. And then the people that have Nintendo are more like, we'll right back to the grind, right back to let's do it again. And it's interesting because now it was for you. It seems like you're in between because you did a little bit of Nintendo and you did a little of Genesis. That's why I said to you, I think you had a Nintendo, but that wasn't enough for you. Your appetite needed something different. It was a Genesis, and usually you could tell. I always knew. Like I had two of my cousins were Genesis kids, and I was like, Genesis kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had a friend, and we would always hang out and play Nintendo games together. And when it came to make the transition to the next gen, before I had gotten a next gen console, he got a Genesis. And I played it, and it blew me away. I was like, this is unbelievable. This is awesome. And he's like...
I want to see all the times you went through. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, it
Go
was
to the
crazy.
next system.
So, like, and Christmas was coming up, and I was like, yeah, we're kind of trying to decide if we're going to get a Genesis or a Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
And
was
he,
rough.
And he was on time. He's like, Genesis is awesome. Like, you played Genesis, you played Sonic. It's great. You got to get a Genesis. Got to get a Genesis. And my
Sonic
brother...
was a fun game.
Sonic was great. And my brother was like, we have to get
You
a Super
played
Nintendo.
Genesis. You played Sonic. Make
Yes.
the right choice,
Right.
Dan.
He's getting you to vote for him.
That's what it seems like. Look, listen. Oh, come on, Dan.
Yeah.
You played Sonic. You know what he could do. Rings, man. You see how fast he is. You're gonna make the right choice come this Christmas.
So I went home, and I was
Christmas season.
campaigning for Genesis.
You
And-
can't pay for Genesis.
And my brother was campaigning for Super Nintendo.
Oh, and he won.
we all know how that went.
Eventually, I was like, all right, okay. And I think my parents were like, you had Nintendo always. Like, if you want another system, like, get Nintendo again. You guys love Nintendo. So we got Super Nintendo. Then, when I got a Super Nintendo, I invited my Genesis friend over, and he was like, oh, no. He's like, I made the wrong decision getting Genesis.
You felt
So
better instantly.
Yeah, I was like, oh, well, sorry.
He probably felt even worse when Street Fighter came out. That changed. That changed like the whole game.
Street Fighter 2 was really the revolutionary one.
Street Fighter 2 was always in the arcade. When it came out for Nintendo, people their heads exploded.
Yeah. But I mean, it worked out because I had Super Nintendo, he had Genesis, and we were,
Right.
Where
Where is that friend today, Dan?
I don't know. I haven't spoken to him since like high school. Probably.
Since the big Genesis Nintendo falling out.
Yeah.
He's like, I have to go home. I never saw him again.
I gotta go.
Where did he go?
I never got to beat him in Sonic.
Right. Crazy. Good times.
Yeah.
Good times. Any other last comments about video games? This is the time if you have a good story, video game story. I'll end it with this. One time I played with Joe Perry, who's been on the show a few times, and we were playing Warcraft 2, and my father's in the background lurking. As he usually does. He's always interested. So he's watching the games, and he could see both screens. We're both kind of like in a Y. And, yeah. So we're playing across the room, and Joe doesn't know that in Warcraft, in the original one of the spells they give you was a polymorph, where you could turn men into sheep. So Joe didn't know that. So we originally were playing one-on-one versus a computer, like just two computers, whatever, it was me and him. And I walked up to his troops, and I went, and I turned him to a sheep. And this time I had a bunch of wizards, and I was bored. But Joe was still struggling, so I was just like gathering strength, but I was bored. So I made a row of wizards come out, and went, and I turned, like he had an army sitting there, and now they're all sheep. So he comes back, he goes, what's happening? What's happening? He goes, dude, all of my men are sheep. He goes, what's happening? They're all sheep. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I know I sound crazy. He goes, but I'm telling you, I had an army here. They're all sheep. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So my father knows in the background. My father's laughing. And so I keep doing it because I'm bored. So I go over to I get some on the edge of his property. He's got like men like guarding. I go, we get a couple more. And he goes, it's happening again. They're turning sheep. He goes, dude, I have to get out of here. I don't know what the computer's doing, but like I'm turning sheep. He goes, I'm going to come over to you. And I go, sure, come over to me. And so my father goes, sitting on the bed in the back, and he goes, says the spider to the fly. So I look at him like this, like, what are you doing? And he's like, just laughing. So Joe moves in. So he moves all his guys in, and now I'm like, this is just too easy. So we sit there, and I just go, zoop. They're all next to me. And I turn the sheet, and he goes, it's still happening. You have to turn the sheet. So he builds in the area within my base, and he walls himself in it. He just has his men in like a wall in the middle of my base. He's like, I'm watching these guys. No one's going to turn the sheep. And so this time I walk my guy up, and I go, zip. And he goes, it was you the whole time. And I go, yeah, I'm sorry. He's like, oh my God. I was going crazy. It was the greatest thing ever. So that's it. Video games. That's why it's great to have a video game to escape to and take over your life, because you can mess with your friends, compete with your brother, and,
And get white grass with congratulations.
Yes, get a strong Comic Sans font of congratulations. The end. So that's been video games on Nerd News, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Right now, we're going to come back with a tabletop game. It is very fun. We've been playing it for a while now. We're up to episode 11, I believe this is. And it is tabletop meets wrestling. So for the players that play with us, hop on right now. It is time to play. And it's called Roll and Rumble. And yes, it is a game that we created. And it's a lot of fun. And tonight's actually a big episode because we may have a new champion or have a champion that is ready to move to the Hall of Fame status. So very excited. Guys, don't go anywhere. We will see you in about 5-6 minutes. So we'll see you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to fight in Audio Dungeon Wrestling in Brawl and Rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to fight in Audio Dungeon Wrestling in Brawl and Rumble.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Roll and Rumble. We are live right now, and we have a lot of power coming at you today because we have a title match on the end of the episode today. First up is going to be J-Rolls versus Tiger King, and then second, it's going to be a triple threat match. This match is for top contender status. This is for Ayatollah, Hedge, and Crusher. And then finally, the winner of that match will be top contender, and they will go against Slapshot, who is putting it all on the line. And if Slapshot wins there, that'll give him another victory, which he needs to go ever closer to Hall of Fame status. Whoever wins today will face Trent Barrington in the next episode. Let's go around the room right now and see if our wrestlers are warmed up. Hedge Delta, taking over to you. There's a lot at stake today. What are you thinking?
Yeah, there's a lot at stake. I've been in this position so many times before, and let me tell you, I will be on that trading floor at the end of the night. I will be fighting for the Roll and Rumble World Heavyweight Champion, and I will come out tonight with more gold in my portfolio than I've ever had before.
Wow. J-Rolls.
Straight on, man. Me too. Same what you said. I'm going to win tonight. I'm going to challenge for the title. And I'm going to go on, and I'm going to do a lot of big, sweet things, man.
Big sweet things. Amazing. Let's take it over to Ayatollah.
Well, I've got a big opportunity tonight, and I assure you it's going to be 2 opportunities, because I'm going to be rock and rolling my way to the world title.
Incredible. Let's bring it over to Crusher. Crusher, you've heard what they have to say. There's a lot of state today, and you are in the top contenders match. What is going to be the outcome?
Yeah, the same it will be always. It will be Crusher on top, and the only floor he will be on is the outside of the ring. And the other one, he will be rolling to the hospital.
Wow.
Trading floor. Get out of here.
And let's take it over to last but not least, we have the Tiger King and joined by Slapshot. They're obviously in the same arena today. Tiger King, we'll ask you first. You have a match versus J-Rolls today. How's that going to go? And who are you putting up first? Who's going to be the winner of today's final match?
Oh yeah, I have some good plans ahead of me. J-Roll, you have no idea what's coming at you. Just because I lost my first match doesn't mean it's over. I am ready, I am rumbling, and I'm here with a new set of dice. So that throne is always going to be mine, and no one's going to take that away from me.
And tough talk from Tiger King. Let's take it over to Slapshot. Slapshot is the current champion. He knows that if he wins today, that gives him a shot at the Hall of Fame next week versus Trenton Barrington. Slapshot, I'm sure you're going to say it's going to go well. How you feeling?
Feeling confident, Commissioner. I've been on this road before. My slap shooters know it. It's a step at a time, and I don't care who comes out of that triple threat match. If they think they've got what it takes to lace up their skates and step onto my ice rink, they're going to find out just how painful a hat trick can be.
Incredible. Awesome. We're going to get going right now, guys. This match coming up is going to be Tiger King. We just heard from him. Tiger King versus J-Rolls. Let's give J-Rolls one more shot, see if he has anything to say before the match begins.
Holy smokes, I'm no joke out the bullpen. Bringing nothing but heat, leave you hanging like clothespins. He's a beast when he goes in, ice cold frozen. The first round draft pick, #1 chosen. Drop bombs, explosion, self-promotion.
Tiger King, man, you look great, man. I loved your documentary. It's good to see that you're out of prison. I think that this is going to be a great time. I got no problem with the fact that you own a bunch of cats illegally. It's all good, man. We are going to light it up tonight and have a great time in the ring. We're going to entertain the fans. But at the end of the day, I'm going to beat you, and I'm going to win the triple threat match, and I'm going to become the champ. I'm sure of it.
Tiger King, anything you want to say in response?
Well, I'll start off by saying not a single thing what you just said is true. And as I always say to every match, this crown's coming off, but the claws are coming out.
Okay, amazing. Guys, that's it. It is J-Rolls versus Tiger King. Let's roll and rumble. Combat out.
All right. I'm going out of survival.
Coming out of strength, man. That's a 36.
Natural 1.
Okay. I'm going to hit you with a knife edge chop, and I'm going to go for a power hit on you.
3 damage dealt to Tiger King. He's going for more.
That's a 7.
That is a 3.
All right. Take the 2 more damage.
5 damage is dealt total this round, and we're back to combat.
Go in Constitution.
All right. Strength again.
That's a 4.
That's a 7 for me. I'm going to take you down with a Japanese arm drag, and I'm going to go for another power hit on you.
3 damage dealt already. Going for more again.
That's a natural 6.
That's a 1. Natural 1.
Snapshot. Okay. Oh, he has no extra damage there, of course.
No, nothing.
Just the +2, so 5 damage total once again, and we're back to combat.
All right. I'm going to come out of will this time.
Go in survival. Natural 6.
Natural 1. That's not good for me, right?
3 extra damage for Tiger King if you want to deliver it. I'm sure you do.
Yes, definitely.
6 damage is dealt right now, and what's your follow-up move?
All right, so I'm going to go for the tail whip. I'm going to trip you, deal 3 damage, and I'm going to go for the attempt. Going to go for rest.
is going to attempt the rest.
That's a dirty 6 for me.
That's a 7.
Yeah, you got it.
7 gets it, and he gets the rest. And here we go, back to combat.
All right, I'm going back out of strength again.
Going knowledge.
That's a 5.
And it fell off the table.
That's a 1.
All right, I got you. I'm going to hit you with a couple of knees to the face. I'm going to go for the power hit again.
All right.
It's a dirty 6.
Okay, that's it. Another 2 damage on top of that. And once again, back to combat.
All right,
Survival again.
I'm coming strength again. That's an 8.
That's a dirty 6.
All right. I'm going to hit you with a snap suplex. And I'm going to go for my finisher here, the up in smoke.
Here it comes. That's 3 damage dealt right now, plus the finisher is on its way. Let's see what happens.
That's a 4.
You got me.
And there it is. Great match, guys. Good match for Tyler King and J-Rolls. Tyler King, just wasn't your day here today. What went wrong?
I don't know. I guess the dice just did not behave with me today. Kept trying to escape my grasp. But I'll be back. I'll be back soon. And trust me, that crown will always be mine, and so will that belt.
Great. Amazing match, guys. Tough talk from Tiger King here. J-Rolls, take us through that match. You pretty much dominated. You had one round where he basically beat the ever-living crap out of you, but besides that, you came strong.
Yeah, I tell you, I had a good showing tonight. You know, I mean, I could barely feel a thing right now, and that tail whip hurt like a son of a gun. So he's got some spark to him. I tip my cap to him. He's a good young competitor. I'm sure we haven't seen the last of him. But my sights are set on success. And, you know, somebody told me that apparently I don't have a chance to fight for the title, which I'm very confused about. But that's all right. You know, sometimes I don't. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So that was J-Rolls. That was J-Rolls. Guys, that was an amazing match. We're going over to our second match today. This is a match for top contender status. It could be anyone's, from Ayatollah to Hedge Delta to Crusher. And of course, the winner of this match will go on to the final match of the day versus Slapshot, the champion himself, and they will fight for the title. Let's go on over to Ayatollah right now. Ayatollah, any words of wisdom for your fellow wrestlers?
Well, I'm sorry to say Hedge Delta and Crusher, but tonight I'm going to be bringing on the heartbreak for you when I send you on the Rock of Ages, which will end with some hysteria with you guys lying on the mat.
Tough talk. Let's go on over to Hedge Delta, who's into the arena right now.
Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound.
Once again, Hedge Delta is exactly where he deserves to be, in the hunt for the Rollin' Rumble World Heavyweight Championship. I don't care who steps into the middle of the ring with me tonight. The smart money is and always will be on Hedge Delta. Everyone knows that my stock is about to go right through the roof. Ayatollah, Crusher, one more time, you will find yourselves crashed as I'm going to the moon, because I'm feeling pretty damn bullish.
So much talk, so much hot air. Can someone turn the air conditioner up just a little bit to blow all this hot air out? He talk about he going to a moon. Only thing you will be seeing is stars. And as far as Ayatollah goes, this will be the day the music dies. Let's just get things going. Come.
Incredible. There it is. Tough talk from all wrestlers that are up today in this triple threat match. They are ready to go right now. So they're entering the ring. Ayatollah versus Hedge Delta versus Crusher, guys. Let's do it. Combat up.
Coming out of strength.
No agility.
5.
That's it.
I'll roll when I'm good and ready, boys.
Being a dead
Cuffs.
now.
Coming out of knowledge. Natural 1.
Natural 6. Well, I do not have to worry about the whipping boy. I'm going to give a spear to the Ayatollah. Take 3. I'm going to go agility versus your strength. Going for the attempt.
What was the move?
Spear.
Yeah.
That's a dirty 6.
An 8.
All right, you got it. Defended. All right, back to combat.
Oh, okay, back to combat. Interesting. Crusher passes up a additional damage.
I'm coming out of survival.
Con, that's an 8.
Coming out of
Dirty
knowledge.
6.
Dirty 6.
All right. Yeah, well, I've got you back on the map. Might as well keep hitting you. Stomp to the head for Ayatollah. Take another 3. Going for the power up. Con versus
3.
Con.
3 damage dealt so far. Is going for an additional 2.
Natural 1.
An 8.
Defended.
Back
And
to
we're
combat.
back to combat.
Agility again.
Coming out of survival again.
8.
7.
Knowledge. Natural 6.
You got it.
All right. I'm coming after you, Crusher. I'll bounce off the ropes and hit you with a sling blade. Take 3. And then I will take you down to the mat, and I'm going to lock you in the rings of Saturn. Let's do knowledge versus knowledge for submission.
Natural 6.
It's an 8. You got it.
All right.
Okay.
Con.
Question, Commission. Is this an elimination match or first fall wins?
First fall wins.
Okay.
Coming out of survival.
Survival also.
7.
8.
6.
All right. Crusher, I'm going to come after you. I'm going to hit you with a float over neck breaker. And I'm going to attempt for the rest. Survival versus survival.
4.
Dirty 6.
You got it.
Okay.
Coming out of survival again.
Con.
Survival.
5.
8.
All right. I got an 8. Roll off.
Natural 6. 9.
You got it.
All right. I will go into survival. I'll come after Ayatollah. I'll pick you up and drop you for a press slam. Take 3 damage. And I'm going to go for the power up. +1 to combat. So survival versus survival twice. Dirty 6.
7.
Got it. All right.
All right. I'm coming out of survival again.
All right. Go on con. Go on
Combating
use
up.
the Russian sickle.
Dirty 6.
Coming out of
8.
strength. Natural 6.
You got it.
All right. This time I'll come after Crusher. Crusher, I'm going to hit you with a dragon screw leg whip. Take 3 damage. And I'm going to go for a power hit. Strength versus strength. 3.
Natural 6.
Got it.
All right.
I'm coming out of strength.
Go on con.
Coming out of knowledge. 5.
7.
Natural 1.
All right. I'm coming after you, Crusher. I'm going to hit you with a snap suplex, take 3 damage. And I am going to put 2 favor on the another one bites the dust, DDT. 3 plus a 2 favor, 5.
Is that a finisher?
Is that a finisher?
Yeah, finisher.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, and he takes it. The Ayatollah.
Reroll that.
Oh.
man.
A 7.
That went higher.
Yeah, it definitely.
Oh, man. Congratulations to the Ayatollah of Rock and Roll, who comes out of the triple threat match a winner. He is now a top contender in Roll and Rumble. Wow. Crusher, what happened here?
I do not know. I thought there was a plan in place, but apparently not. It was okay. It was okay. It was okay.
Okay, well, Crusher says it's okay. Hedge Delta, what happened to Ayatollah? You know, relatively a newcomer to the Federation, has taken it. How you feeling over there? I mean, has your portfolio...
This is what happens in triple threat matches. I went from Ayatollah to Crusher. I was putting the boots to both of them, and he snuck right in and grabbed that pinfall from me. I should be in that match.
Wow, maybe if you ask Ayatollah nicely, he might let you in.
Manners,
What do you say,
Hedge,
Ayatollah?
Manners.
Manners? How about this? How's this for manners? All right? I'll make a proposition for you. I would like to buy your spot in tonight's World Heavyweight Championship match. I will take a large portion of my portfolio. I will call my managers, and I will have them in a very subtle, undetectable way make a large deposit into an offshore bank account. You will be given that information. You alone will be given that information. And you will be a very, very rich man. All I'm asking you is for one match.
I like to deject here, actually. If you want to put your money where your mouth is, what you could do is you could take your fame, which I would allow right now, for this momentarily. You could cash in a lot of re-rolls, and you could offer him that.
Ayatollah, I will take a large portion of my favor portfolio. I will withdraw it from mine and give it to you. 10 favor for your spot in that championship match tonight. Don't be foolish.
Wait, 10 favor?
Don't be foolish, Ayatollah.
10 favor? Wow.
This is a closed door negotiation, I'll have you know, Commissioner.
And how much favor do you currently have?
That information does not need to be made public. I will not put myself in a less advantageous position during this negotiation. Thank you very much.
Does it need to be public until the end of the episode?
Right. Well, there you have it. 10 whole favor that could be yours if you just deny yourself the chance to fight Slapshot for the title.
Be smart.
This title is invaluable. I will not be accepting your offer.
And there you have it.
I won't forget this.
Do you ever think it's weird that you can't erase the white off of paper?
No.
Okay.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of that match. The triple threat match ends in Ayatollah coming out on top as top contender. And now, the only thing left to do is the title match. Ayatollah, any words for the current champion himself?
Well, I would like to say that right now, I've already started rock and rolling, and I plan on rock and rolling all night. So you might as well kiss your title goodbye.
Wow, there it is.
I see what he did there.
And here he comes in, the current champion. He currently holds a title, and he's on his way to try to get into the Hall of Fame. The one, the only, Slapshot.
I remember my first pair of skates. But I'll tell you something, Ayatollah. If there's one thing that both wrestling and hockey has taught me, never underestimate your opponent. You've earned this shot, but here's the one problem. You've got no shot against Slapshot.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Slapshot versus Ayatollah of Rock and Roll. This is it, the title match. Let's combat up.
Coming out
Starting
of strength.
as every hockey match begins with my signature move, the face-off, coming out of knowledge, and I will start out adding 1 favor to my roll. That is a
7.
9.
9 takes it.
All right, rake to the face, take 3 damage, and I earn 1 favor for that move, so that's a wash. And I will, while you're on the I lift you up, put you on the ground, twist your legs into my submission hold, the penalty box. Knowledge versus knowledge.
Natural 6.
Natural 1. Defended.
Defended. Back to combat.
Coming out of
Alright.
survival.
I will go knowledge again with my other signature move, the hook and cross check.
Natural 1.
All right. That's a 7. All right. Hook you around, slam you to the back, take 3 damage.
An additional 3 damages dealt to Ayatollah.
And I will once again, this time I'll put you in my newest submission hold, the ride the bench, as I tie you up into the ropes. Knowledge versus knowledge. That's a natural 6.
7.
All right.
6 takes it.
That is 1 damage. I will risk it for knowledge versus knowledge, and I will add 2 favor to this. That's a 9.
7.
Wonderful. That's an additional 3 damage. Take it.
3 damage dealt. Back
Coming
to
out of
combat.
survival.
Coming out of talent.
An 8.
That's a dirty 6.
All right. So I'm gonna take you as seen before, and I'm gonna hit you with a snap suplex, and I'm gonna try to I'm gonna rest.
Okay.
Natural 1.
Also natural 1, but that's a defense. All right.
Defended. Back to combat.
Going.
I'm
to
coming out of
talent
survival again. Natural 6.
Natural 1, but I will re-roll that. Natural 6. That
Everybody
is
roll
a
again.
Good use of a re-roll.
5.
That's an 8. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. As I give you the hip check, fling against the ropes, stick my hip out, you flip over it, slam me to the ground, take 3 damage. And I think it's time my slap shooters count it out with me as I lift you up, slam you to the ground. Then count it out with me. 1, 2, 3, adding 2 favor to the finisher. Slapshot skates in. He winds, he shoots, he rolls. He rolls a 6, that's an 8.
You got me.
He scores!
And that is it. Slapshot takes it. He is still the reigning champion of Roll and Rumble, and he maintains the belt. Next week, Slapshot will go on to face Trent Barrington in what will prove to be a career versus title match. And there it is, the belt. Will it still be in his hands by the end of next episode, or will he lose it to Trent Barrington? Only time will tell. Let's go around right now. We're going to do the records and favors, starting from J-Rolls. What do you got?
My record is 3-8, and my favor is 42.
Wow. 42 favor. Incredible. Let's go on over to Hedge
Got
Delta.
a lot of customers. I mean, fans.
I'm 4-9 with 15 favor.
4-9 to 15 favor. He was offering 2/3 of his portfolio to try to get his way into that match, but it couldn't happen. Go over to Ayatollah.
I'm 2-4 with 14 favor.
14 favor. You obviously earned a 5 of that favor today, so you're getting back up there. That's good. Going over to Crusher. Crusher, what do you got?
7-6. Still holding strong at 59 favor.
59 favor. Incredible. Go over to Tiger King. What do you got?
0-2 with 15 favor, but trust me, I'm just starting out and I'm coming back.
And Slapshot.
Here is your winner and still Roland Rumble Federation champion, Slapshot, with a record of 8-3 and 34 favor.
Incredible. Slapshot, any words that you want to say right now to Trent Barrington, who is surely watching and counting the days until your match?
As I said to Ayatollah, I don't underestimate anyone. I have personally seen how the luck of the dice can flip just like that. But I have a pretty good record against Trent over the seasons. And like everyone else, he's got no shot against Slapshot on his way to the Hall of Fame.
Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's it for today. Next week is going to be a big one. This is it. It is Roll and Rumble Mania, and you're going to see Trent Barrington versus Slapshot in a match that will prove the retirement of Trent Barrington or possibly the Hall of Fame status of Slapshot, or the next rise of Trent Barrington to his rightful place as champion of Roll and Rumble. Anything could happen. I'm excited. Guys, we're not here next week. We return in 2 weeks, April 1st. That will be the Roll and Rumble Mania. So that is a time to make sure you get your tickets now. Be here live Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on April 1st. And guys, we will see you then for Roll and Rumble. Thanks for watching.